Hey boo, hey, how you be? Come on in and talk with me. Bring a friend or bring three. Like the video, for you it's free. Drop a crown and where you from. The queen is here. Let's start the show. Where we gonna end? Nobody know. Now here we go. Here we go. Let's start the show. Ow. Welcome, confessors. Come on in. Press that thumbs up, drop a crown, and speak if you're not a hater or a lurker. We are nothing but good vibes and good times up in here. We accept all opinions and points of views respectfully. Let's get it cracking. Hey boo, hey, how you be? Welcome to another video, another episode of 21 Questions with Confessions. It's been a minute, but we are back up in it. And I am coming back bringing my new friend. Yes, y'all, I made me a new friend while I've been away. I sure did. Me and my did, but we connected really good. He's really awesome. He is probably my first person that I have done a one-on-one with that I barely have had any insight on and has known the least. So I'm really excited to get to know a little bit more about him. So y'all gonna learn about him a little bit more, just as I am. So let me bring up this fabulous human being, new friend of mine that I have met, Mr. Tearon of the Ubiquitous Blacks. Hey, boo. Hey, how you doing?
What's up? I'm
Thank you
pretty
for
good. How are
coming
you?
through.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How has your morning been?
It's morning. That's a fact. that's real.
Now, are you a morning person? Are you a morning person or a night owl, would you say?
I am whoever's paying me, whatever time they need me to be there, that's what I turn into.
I
You
love
know,
it.
if you say, hey, look, wake up at 5 a.m. because we gotta go get this bread. I'm gonna be up at 5 a.m. even if I went to sleep at like 2, I'm gonna wake
Yes.
up.
Yes. You about that grind. I love that. That's right. Where are you from? Where were you born and raised?
Oh God. No, I am from, it depends on what you call it. So I'm from like the Midwest South, if you will. I was born in Louisville, Kentucky. I kind of lived all over, but that's where I was born. And it's just a weird place to be, let me say. Because yeah, it's not quite, even though it's considered the South, where it sits, it's just not quite the South. And then it's in the mix with all these other like Midwest cities, in
Uh-huh.
Midwest America. Yeah.
So what was it like there growing up? Like, do you think, I guess what I want to say is how you were raised, do you think that contributed to the man you are today?
Fully. So I grew up in the projects, hands down, right? um that was my whole upbringing. And then we kind of moved around a lot, we moved on up, if you will, and stuff like that. But for me, being in that location, geographically speaking, um if you ride through like 75 and you could just cut, through that middle part of the country, there's nothing there but a bunch of like factories outside of, if you get into a city, there's stuff. And then once you get right outside of that, there's nothing there. There's factories, there's, farms, there's that industrial remnants of the past, right?
Right.
And a lot of people live their life very Monday through Friday, and it never worked for me. It just never fit. And I feel like truly I never had the opportunities that I craved, because all the things around me, the people around me, the, you know, adults, the teachers, all these people around me just had no sense of like thinking that big. and I was always thinking big. So it was difficult to say the least.
Absolutely.
I was like, yo, get me up out of here, man.
So when did you start to soar and spread your wings to where you could think big and outside the box and wherever else you wanted to?
Like I said, I think I always did. I really think I always did. I would be in school, right? And I would get in trouble for like writing. I was always like making up stories, doing anything that required me to get some kind of escape. I was doing it. And so I would be in class and we'd be learning a lesson and they wouldn't have my attention at all because I'm, doing these things. Now, here's the thing. If society was set up appropriately, there would have been a teacher that would have said, hey, he don't really care about math, but he's always writing. Let's find him something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I always thought about like escaping, but I didn't really start to physically explore until I was maybe like 16 and things would come up. You get involved in different programs and stuff like this. But then when I really ventured out, I was already like 18, 19. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I got to do. I'm going to be getting on this Greyhound. And I would never do that today, let me be honest. But back in the day, I wanted to get through, So
yes.
I don't know. I always tried to think outside of the box to the point that the immediate people around me didn't know what to do with me, honestly. So
fair. That's fair. So when did you get into podcasting, blogging, and content creating? First of all, what do you put a label on yourself? Do you call yourself a content creator, a blogger, or a podcaster? What do you put yourself in a category if you do?
I would say, just like, waking up in the morning, I'm going to put whatever title I need.
Whatever title is paying.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I do all the things, like I said, I started out writing. I eventually published, some books and things like that at a very young age and was, doing that very seriously for a long time. From there, we got into, I always wanted to perform. So stage, screen and stuff, that kind of was always there for me. And then like, you start to learn the inner workings of the things around you, right? So I knew that if I was going to be working in arts and entertainment on a serious level, I needed something that was more sustainable than the fickle world that it can be. If you're just seeking an outlet to be a performer, if you're just trying to act or you're just trying to be a dancer or whatever, there's options for you. However, everybody wants to be out front, right?
Yes.
So I was like, you know what? I know that I know how to do the technical stuff, right? I've always kind of been able to like look at something and figure out how it works. So that's kind of what my mind is. So I was like, you know what? Let me start. So I started picking up cameras and I started learning how to edit and then started learning like different techniques as far as like directing and stuff goes. So from there, pretty much teaching myself these things a lot of the times, or being involved in communities where you would pick up the knowledge. From there, progressed into just doing things on social media, like little edits, little videos and things like this, getting the attention of people who can actually pay me for those things. And then, progressed into directing music videos for different artists and traveling the world and having a good time. And then podcasting didn't come until we all got sat down in 2020. I had the idea since 2018, but I didn't have the time until 2020. And that's when I pulled the trigger on it. I was like, I got to do this thing. That's how that went.
Funny because that's when I finally pulled the trigger and started doing this as well. When the pandemic came, 2020 is when I actually started. So I totally get that. So you have been doing this forever. So this has always been your passion. Like you does this. You're not new to this. You true to this.
Yeah, it's been a while for me. In any other profession, you'd be considered like, a veteran for how many years I've put into just like arts and entertainment. You
Wow. Wow.
the difference is
The difference be,
mm, mm.
you know.
It gets a little tricky though, because when you're chasing this kind of thing, people get caught up in the high points. Those are the things that you tend to share on social media, right? But it's very difficult to navigate because a lot of true creatives, are not the best business people. Some people are just talents, and that's why there are talent managers, But
Yeah.
I try to encourage people to really learn the business aspect of things, knowing your worth is more than just waiting for Tyler Perry to pay you a big check,
If
because
that's
that's
the
not
route you
happening to
want to
everybody.
go, sure.
You can't sit around and wait for that. You have to be willing to learn how to negotiate and learn, what your standard, payments are. And you just got to learn the business for what it is, because a lot of times you're working in your own favor, and you can also, work against your favor too, depending on how this goes, because unfortunately the infrastructure of Hollywood is it's not favorable to people who are not making a whole bunch of people money. Let me
That
put
is
that.
so true. That is so true. And one thing that stood out about me to you was your editing. Like, you're good. Your editing. I love your editing. I'm like, I need this man to teach me how to do this, because you are very good at editing. I'm like, yes, because that's one thing I struggle with. I have no knowledge of, and I will say
Yeah,
that I have no knowledge of editing, and I want to get better at graphics or whatever. So
yeah.
what would you say were the things that you have struggled with in this field as you have embarked on it?
Oh gosh, so much. For me, honestly, what I've come to realize, and the older I get, the more cynical I become.
Mm,
That's how I feel. But
yes.
I've come to realize that there are no moves made without a proper investment in you at all.
Boom.
Um, and of course, as we all know, everything comes down to who you know. I tell people this all the time. I say, hey, look, when you go for a job that requires you to have, certain degrees, for example, and you're sitting across from someone and you're pitching yourself, right? You have to be cognizant of the fact that you are not the only person that's come in with those degrees, because that job requires those degrees, right?
Right.
So you have to have other things to impress the person across from you. And a lot of times that can be, having the same alma mater, right? Or being a part of the same network, pledging the same fraternity, for example. And these
Yes.
are things, all these extra things really are what appeal to others who can make or break you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another thing I tell people is, if you have nepotism, use it. Use it, because I wish I did.
Hello. Hello.
And don't be
Yes.
ashamed of that. It's the hand you were dealt. For me, I know for a fact that geography has always been a thing for me. Not learning, knowing. I know my geography. Let me be clear, y'all. I know my maps. But geographical location
Yes.
has been a factor. I feel like I would have gotten a bit further along had I started moving around sooner. Um, so that's one. And then the other thing is finance. You absolutely do need money to achieve the things that you need to do, because a lot of times, for example, there's been times I've been invited to events or to attend certain things. However, that event will be, in LA, and it'll be on Tuesday, right? And they just told me this on Sunday.
Yeah.
Chances of me making to that event are nil. And what you'll find is that you will see people who you can look at and you can say, I know I'm way more talented than them. I know
You
they
are my
suck.
people. You are my people.
I'm just saying, you can look at people, you be like, I know that they suck. The difference is they've made time to be present in the spaces that will get them noticed, or they made themselves available.
You
And
are
because you
speaking
are
to my fire.
unavailable, you kind of, you miss that opportunity. And that's a huge factor in the things that I do. So yeah, you really have to be able to get up and go get it at any point. But again, that requires some reserves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You hit it right on the head with that, because I say that so many times, and it's not a conceited thing. It's not that
No.
it's what you see, it's what you know. You see that you are better, and yes, absolutely. It is location, location, location.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I definitely get that. So when did the your podcast Ubiquitous Blacks come into play, and how?
So hold on.
You go ahead.
So for me, okay, ubiquitous blacks, let me just go ahead and explain it real quick. So ubiquitous being the actual definition of the word, being found everywhere, and then blacks being you and I, aka, the black/African diaspora, etc. Right? I
Yeah.
knew that I always wanted to explore more about other black people in other spaces. And when I started to travel in real time, I was like, yo, wait a minute. We are literally everywhere, and there are interesting people everywhere. And to really paint the idea that we are not a monolith, right? And to also cultivate a space where we can start to build bridges. I think the bigger issues are so grand that a lot of people can't wrap their minds around how to attack things. Like, for example, like the things going on in the Congo, right? That seems massive. You see, that seems so big that a lot of times you feel helpless. You don't know exactly what to do about it, right? So I was
Yes.
like, okay, if we start to connect on more basic levels, meaning black mamas are black mamas everywhere, right? And they
Yes.
all have a way of you being out and about as a kid, and you saying, "Oh, it's McDonald's." They all have a way of saying, "Do you have McDonald's money?" And it may
Right.
not be McDonald's per se, but they all have that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just like there's many names for like a flip flop, right? And what and black mamas, they quick to pick up that flip flop, sandal, chancla, whatever you want to call it. They will
Yes.
pick it up and throw it at you. And we all have those silly, shared experiences across the board that we can, tap into. And from that, you tend to start to care about your fellow person. So you can talk to someone from Brazil, you can talk to someone that's living in Germany, and you can find these things that, match you up. And it
Yeah.
may be the only thing that ties you in, and then you can branch from that. So I just started to, I was like, you know what, I know enough people everywhere. Every time I go somewhere, I know somebody, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, let me tap into my reserves and and start to, have these conversations. So when I started the podcast, I started out with a co-host. My co-host was actually a Nigerian like comedian. When I say Nigerian comedian, I don't mean happens to be Nigerian but living elsewhere. I mean, no, in the thick of it in Nigeria. And we just hit it off through like mutual spaces, right? And we knew
Mm-hmm.
each other for many years before we like kicked it off. But I was like, I know that if I want to do this, I want it to feel like that. Eventually, he couldn't, keep doing it. So I ended up proceeding, by myself with guests. So I would have guests on this, be, musicians, other artists, business owners, things like this, right? And from there we started adding in like movie and TV reviews. So we do like two shows. So I have like the interviews that I do now with different guests, and then we have like the movie TV reviews, but all of them are under the same idea, the same thing of shedding light and building bridges across the diaspora. So we don't review like all the major blockbusters unless it's majority Black cast or, you know, director or whatever. And same goes for my guest. I usually will make sure that the guest are Black or African descent, no matter where they live. But as long as they're interesting to me, I usually try to get them on, and you know, we kind of go from there. And so far, it's been interesting to say the least. It's because I'll be honest with you. I know that if I acquire the guest that I wanted to easily, that I would, you know, be doing way bigger numbers than what I do.
Absolutely.
Because of the popularity contest, you know?
Absolutely.
You know, and I know people who do far less and they will get a deal with a network because their brand and they'll be doing their thing, or they'll be able to get with guests and so on because they can afford to go and travel to that guest or whatever, you know, stuff like this.
Yeah.
So it's been the long game, but I know what I'm in it for has a bit more substance than, you know, the ones that come and go, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, since 2020, and you know, there's been a few hiccups here and there, but I haven't given up on it. And I yeah, I'm trying to, you know, monetize it in every way possible. Let me put it that way.
I hear you. I hear you. So where do you hope to be in another 5 years?
Definitely making money off of the things that I'm doing now, for sure. I definitely want to create a couple of properties that exist without me. This could be anything from, like, you know, selling a TV show, or you know, just any sort of ideas that I can kind of not have to be involved in, because I think that a lot of times we as creatives tend to create things that can't exist without us being present, right? It's very talent based. And while that can be, you know, great, I kind of want to create some things that it can go on even if I'm not a part of it, you know? So if you change a host out, if you change out a host, you know, the show is big. I'm okay with creating brands and properties that are bigger than myself. And yeah, because, you know, that's how people do. You just go and get on a board somewhere and you start raking it in. You don't have to be
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I definitely want to do those things. I think I want to have one kid by then, so I can get that done.
Is it a one and done, or you just want to get one out the way first?
One and done, preferably, unless it's a 2-for-1 special, because sometimes those things happen, right?
Hey, it could be a 3-for-1 special, be a 4-for-1 special. You just better watch yourself.
So if you see me with more than one, it was I knocked it out the park the first time.
Okay, so if we see you with more than one, mind our business. Gotcha.
Yeah, it was that one. It was that one.
I hear you. I wish I would have you on here longer because I wanted to pick your brain about gossip. But let me ask you this before I let you go, because I know that you do have to go. What it has been, we are 7 months and more into 2024.
Jesus.
What are 2 things that have just blown your mind this year in headlines, period, news, whatever? Or even if a show blew your mind, what has blown your mind this year?
So let's see, without being too political.
Oh no, get political if you want to, because I was gonna get political if we had more time, but we don't.
Honestly, this just paying attention to all the different, like, elections globally, right? This is an election year for a lot of people. I know that a lot of Americans aren't aware of the other ones, but it's been, we are not the only ones. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
we're not the only ones having a shit show. To be
Hell
honest,
no, you ain't.
it's just that our shit show tends to affect a lot of other people, right? So there's that. Everything that's happened recently. Hold on. I thought I had to sneeze, but I don't.
Bless you anyway.
But no, everything that's happened politically, all the attempts on people's lives, which let me say this about that. Just
Please.
You have to be careful the kind of things you put out there, because you got to be a certain kind of vile for something like that to happen and people shrug. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it comes from sowing seeds of hate, and you can't really expect to do that and things like that not come up, so
Absolutely.
that's my thought on that. But then Biden bowing out, everybody has their opinions about that. That was pretty shocking. And then of course Kamala stepping up, right? So we got a lot going on politically. I would say the most startling headline for me would probably have to be with things going on with these different genocides and things that are going on around the world that we tend to have the favor of not being able to pay attention to all the time, right?
Yes.
I think it's a huge. We don't realize how blessed we are to be in this country, to be able to turn things off or turn a blind eye to a lot of things. And I think that, unfortunately, I think that makes it less real for a lot of people, because they can make up things and conspire. And I think that's dangerous. But though, just the things going on with with Palestine and the things going on in the Congo, the all the things going on as far as Burkina Faso goes, I would go really far, but we'd be on here for like 3 hours.
Well, I'm glad you said, because me and Ma just started a new show last night called Politics for Dummies, and I would love for you. I would love for you to swing by whenever. It is a night show, so when you're up or whatever, that's a free time. Come get some political talk with us sometime, because Politics for Dummies.
Yeah,
we like just talking about it. We not serious. We talking stuff about it. We cussing. We doing all of that. We giving our raw deal. Yeah, we curse. We bad over here. We curse and drink around there. Yeah, we bad. We a bad influence.
That could be good sometimes.
So I would love for you to come by and give your take sometime. Yes, because we could definitely get into this some more.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on, and I only happen to be privy of information because I actively communicate with everyone, right? Mm-hmm. But I know that, my neighbor doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, and once you really start to open your mind to, broader things, you are often, all your gases get flabbered, because you look at someone, you're like, you don't even shut up. Like, nothing's happening to you right now. I promise you, you're fine.
Really, you have no clue, darling.
You have no idea. Like, there's a big world out there, and yeah.
Yes, it is. Well, Tearon, thank you very, very much for coming on here and chit chat with me and getting into some things. It was a pleasure. Please come back again, and I would love to be, a guest for you whenever again. Absolutely. You were a great connection to have met. I really admire and appreciate you. So I hope we can do some things in the future, baby.
Definitely. I want to again thank you for having me, and we'll definitely be doing some stuff. Don't you fret.
Yeah, please tell everyone where they can find you.
Oh, okay. Yes. So you can find me on Instagram at Tearon World, on TikTok at Tearon with 2 underscores on the end. You can follow my podcast, all the things at Ubiquitous Blacks. If you don't know how to spell it, go on Google and just type it in phonetically, and then Google will say, "Did you mean?" And then click that, and then you'll find
iPhone will bring it up. iPhone will bring it up.
It'll pop right up. So yeah, the podcast. Tuesdays, movie and TV reviews. Fridays, we drop interviews. And I'm all over. So I'm working on a stand-up set. I don't know where I'm gonna do it yet, but when I do, I will make sure I let everyone know. But just
yes,
socials.
Yes, I like the sound of that. And I just want to give a shout out to Tearon Renee, who I also had met with you, your co-host.
Tearon
Janae. We're doing Royal Rules of Ohio, where we met and came together for that tragedy. Yes.
Yeah.
So shout out to her and wherever she is at in the world. Will you please drop her info too? Where you can find her?
Yeah. So my co-host Tiara Janae, you can find her at Tiara Takes. That's TIERA Takes _. She does travel content. She also has a YouTube channel under the same name, Tiara Takes. And she's always all over. If you happen to catch us in the same room, just know it's a rarity because she's always traveling and trying to do her content over there. And we've known each other for years. You know what's crazy? And this is how we're gonna round this out. So I know that you're a huge fan of reality TV, right?
Uh-huh.
We actually met many years ago. I won't say how many, but we actually met in line at a audition for Real World.
No way! What season?
The season that they didn't pick us because the season that got canceled.
Oh my goodness! What? I love me some Real World.
They really missed their
They missed the beat. They missed the beat. They missed
because we was in line. We hit it off in line, and from that point on, we been rocking ever since. So.
Oh, I love that story. That is so dope. Yes, I love me some challenging. I can't wait for the new challenge to start. Do you watch the challenges?
I used to. I haven't been able to keep up lately, honestly.
Well, I would tell you the next one that comes is Challenge 40, and all generations and all decades are coming. So you'll definitely know the people that's coming this season. And it's going to be like, it's actually 40, I think 40 contestants coming in.
See,
it's going to be a big.
We were supposed to be a part of that, but they messed up.
That's where they messed up at. That was the one right there. They saving you for it. You going to be on the blackout just in case someone leaves. They going to bring you in.
Exactly.
All right, so well, I am not going to keep you. Thank you for coming, and keep in touch, darling, and keep doing what you're doing.
Definitely. Thank you for having me again. And everybody, keep up. Follow my girl Confessions. Follow all of us. And don't just follow. You know, I always tell people there's ways to
follow, be in the chat, subscribe, leave a comment, like.
And there's ways to donate too. We do accept we do accept monetary donations so that we can continue to improve our things. You know what I'm saying?
And let us know what we can improve on. Let us know what you want to see.
Absolutely.
Let us know. Talk to us. We here for you. That's what we here for.
Listen, if you DM me asking me for my Cash App, I promise you I'll reply.
Hello. Look, you're gonna have to give it. Look, you're gonna have to give it to me so I can put it in the description box for you.
Oh yeah, I'll promise you I'll reply.
So watch out for that Cash App, y'all. $1, $2, $3. You find a little something in the couch or in the dryer. You ain't missed it. Go on and hand it over a little bit.
Treat me like you treat Savage Fenty and all the other ones. You don't even know them, but you
Amazon,
know
me Temu, Shein, all of that. You know.
Definitely treat me like Temu and Shein.
Fashion Nova.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. If you are gonna pay them all that money for paper shirts and pants, you could definitely give me $1 too. At least
you going to pay all that for a tag, because that's all you're paying for is a tag.
Yeah. Next time you on the TikTok shop, Close that out and send it to me.
Look, let me find out how to get Cash App on TikTok Shop. Look, we got some more research to do, friend. We got some more. We got to branch out. We about to start. We about
I'm
to
just
innovate up
saying.
here.
Oh,
Look,
goodness, I
see,
had fun.
I don't say bye to this boy twice, and we keep coming back. See how we do? We do. See.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm gonna be running late. That's all right.
All right, friend.
That's all
Hit
right.
me up later.
Peace out. It was great talking to you.
Bye-bye. And there y'all go, y'all. That is Tearon from Ubiquitous Blacks. Make sure y'all follow him. Make sure y'all follow me. Make sure y'all follow his co-host. Make sure y'all follow my co-host. I got two. This was so fun. I had a very good time. I wanted to talk to him so much longer. I wanted to pick his brain about all of the stuff that is going on in the entertainment world. I wanted to talk a little bit more about politics with him, but hopefully he will be able to be a guest on Politics for Dummies, which is a new show that me and Ma just premiered last night. We had a lot of fun last night. It was a good time, nothing serious on a serious topic. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. I will be back with another episode very soon. Okay, I promise. I ain't gonna keep y'all waiting too long. But on that note, love each other and